today we are here to talk about resolution. Minors should or shouldn't be allowed to buy candies and junk food only when adults are besides them. And I would like to hear your arguments. Are you for or against?
I think it's wrong to decide for their own children what's good for them, what's bad. I think they should learn on their own what's good and bad for them, thus making them more knowledgeable about certain things.
I completely disagree with this statement because I think that minors have allowance for a reason, because it is money that is meant for them to spend in whichever way they want. So if they want to buy junk food, they should be able to do it without presence of their parents or any other kind of adults. So this all comes down to freedom of choice. What do you think, Katri?
I kind of agree with this statement because there is some things that should be allowed and there is some things that shouldn't be allowed. If we talk about minors, they haven't developed the skills to do the proper judgments yet. They have to learn it from their parents. They have to know the best way, how to keep up their health, how to keep healthy. And the same thing that we did with the energy drinks, that they are not the kids are not able to buy them, I think, till the age 18 or 16. And I think that it really improves the children's health, because energy drinks contains a lot of bad things that harms both kidneys and livers and everything. And I think that we should care more about our children and teach them what's better and what's not. So if we buy the junk food in front of our children and say that this is bad, or only buy the junk food in small amounts just to keep the children kind of happy, then I think, yeah, we should do this restriction.
We should not accept this restriction because I agree to his statement that there is a freedom of choice to what to buy, and I think that if you are 18 years old, okay, but 17 years or 16 is pretty much enough to make your own decisions and conclusions to what is right or what is not right. So I think that you cannot restrict the choice and decisions of so-called teenagers.
I cannot disagree, neither agree with this statement, because I think if we talk about casual candies, everyone has used them, no matter if they are old or young. But if we talk about fast food, I think kids shouldn't be buying the fast food, only because there is a lot of oil in these in the fast food. So I think that's one of the things why kids shouldn't buy the fast food.
Thank you. Do you have any clues to say?
Well, I disagree with the statement simply because I'm not really sure if it will change anything at all, since mostly, well, when parents give their children allowance, they mostly know how they spend it and what they buy. So if they are aware they are buying junk food and candies and they are not stopping it right now, then what really says that if the kids will ask, hey mommy, can you buy me this candy or that candy or something like that, the parents will simply buy it. So the situation will not really change at all in this, if such a law would be accepted. So.
Can I emphasize something? Doing this reform, we cannot make the situation worse. We can only make it better. If we restrict the kids from buying their own snacks, it will promote the healthy lifestyle, because if the parents are not with them, they're not able to buy something, and they will not buy it, even if the parents buy it for them later. It it wouldn't be in the same amount that they would buy for themselves. And in my opinion, parents have the knowledge and they know what's best for their children. So I think the parents will make the best decision for their children. I'm not talking about children from 16, 17, 18 who can make their own decisions, because this resolution doesn't say the age that the restriction is going to be.
Underage children. It does. Underage children.
Underage children.
Which means 16.
However,
and
if you're 16 and 17, you're still a child, and your parent is responsible for you.
So if
for your
I'm 17 and 364 days old, I'm still a child. But later everything changes.
The same thing that is with the alcohol. Like it's a law, you have to do it, and if the
So you're comparing candy with alcohol?
I'm comparing two restrictions. Also, what I'm saying is that the restriction will not make anything worse. The only thing the restriction can make is make things better.
For example, how? Please elaborate.
The children will simply eat less candy. The children will simply eat less junk food, less bad things for them, for their health.
But if a situation occurs, like I previously mentioned, the parents will just buy them later for their kids, then what really changes in that situation?
But you cannot say the parents will buy the same things that the children will buy. They will buy a bit healthier things and in smaller amounts.
If you look now in our situation, like what is going on in Latvia or in our city, then you got like a lot of kids are asking for some elder to buy alcohol. There is no problem to get the alcohol. Why do you think there will be, like, if there will be the restriction for the candies, why do you think that kids won't be able to get these candies? I think they will be more motivated to get them.
Yeah, they will be. Maybe somehow, if there will be like a candy or junk food contraband, they will be able to get the junk food and candies. But it will be more complicated. The process will be more complicated. They will have to put much more energy into getting a bag of chips. When the time and the money is not worth it. If we can make something better by restricting these junk foods for buying these junk foods for minors, we can only develop the situation of the health. We can only develop we can only develop the situation for the health for children, and I think there's nothing is getting worse. If we can make just like maybe 1% of children are getting healthier, that's already development in this situation of health in Latvia.
Children can buy sweets and junk food for themselves, but their parents would like them to not do that, right? You said something like that.
Yes.
So in that case,
like this,
why would they give their children allowance in the first place? Surely they know where the allowance is spent.
Who said someone's giving allowance to someone? I didn't mention the facts like that. I mentioned if parents know the right amount of sweets and junk foods that their children must have. They have the knowledge. They have the experience. Yes, they do. Yes, they have more life experience. They know what happens if people eat too much candies, too much junk food, especially in nowadays situation when the coefficient of fat people is getting bigger, like people are getting more fat, that's a fact.
Fat people are more friendly. I think it's good actually, judging for my experience. More positivity on the world, less crime.
More heart disease.
If the amount of people who are a wee bit overweight rises, that means that doctors will gain a lot more experience. Thus, they will be a lot more capable in this field and could help people a lot more.
And plus, people who are fat and they start to have some problems, they would understand that it's something's wrong and they should change something. They would get healthier by doing some other activities like working out and training.
Okay, so you're implying that junk food is really bad for health. People will go get fat and they will go to gym afterwards.
Yeah. So
So
it's
that
balanced.
so you're implying that junk food is really bad, and you're
No,
still
it's
going
not
to
bad.
you're still going to eat it to make yourself fat, and then going to make yourself go work out.
Yes,
so
well,
better
you need
carbs.
some motivation to go to the gym.
Well, there's the idea that we
Yeah,
need
but
to
people can get also fat
balance
from other foods, not only junk.
Well, we have to get rid of the problem at its root. We don't
Yeah,
have
it's
to
very
wait
talking about
for
junk
the
True.
bad things to happen. Only then to realize that we have not to eat the junk food. We have to start from our children. We have to teach them that the junk food is bad. We have to teach them that
Yeah,
the
but
junk food.
underage people could start asking other strangers who are grown up to buy them junk food behind their parents' backs.
But that's the problem. Our young people actually are less communicative with the older people. Therefore, they're not
Yeah, but
going
actually,
to
in
ask.
wouldn't they break
going
the
to-
law, kind of, because they need their parents to be with them, and some
Exactly.
stranger
So they
isn't
will
their
need someone
parent.
else who is old enough to actually buy junk food. Therefore, they cannot buy it. Therefore, they're not going to buy it. Otherwise, they will have to force someone else to buy for them.
Isn't
But
that
that's
breaking
more.
the law?
Yeah,
Exactly,
exactly.
exactly.
That's what we're implying. You
Judging from
cannot.
personal experience, it's not really that difficult to ask someone, and mostly people just actually do agree.
But how many
to buying
people
it.
how many actually children will ask somebody? It's like the majority isn't going to ask.
Well, actually not really, since I mean cigarettes are prohibited unless you're 18.
Exactly, by the law.
But it's not really a problem for someone to ask. I have personally witnessed something like that, and really such situations occur very often, in fact.
At the end, if you're going to ask somebody else, you're prohibiting the terms that were actually for these candies that weren't allowed. So basically, you're crossing the line of law, and you can be persecuted for
That's
this.
how it's gonna be. It's kind of law. So you wouldn't have to break it.
That is actually quite a good point.
So
I
maybe
mean,
we don't need any laws at all. So
No,
we
I mean,
not to break
well,
it.
like legit laws. Actually, prohibiting kids from buying candy is a wee bit ridiculous in my opinion. It is quite an unnecessary law since we have provided some points as well that have shown how this law would not really work. So we're
But
just
we have
adding.
provided-
Yeah, but candy isn't dangerous. So what's the average deaths caused by candy on the world? So true.
So let's mention heart disease for
From candy.
Fat people,
fat people,
ain't candies
not
and
only
junk.
candies,
can
junk
also
food.
get
Talk about fat people.
Let's look at the USA statistics. Most of the people are overweight just because of this junk food bistros where they can get burgers and hot dogs and chicken nuggets, and this food that contains saturated fat, contains unhealthy oils, contains everything that harms the health. This is what makes people fat, and this is the reason why the amount of heart diseases have been risen up for the past decades.
So what's the difference between 10 sausages in home and 10 hot dogs at fast food?
You see,
You need to look at the process
The
how they
different-
are made.
no, the
Well,
difference
then-
is the fact that if your parents care about you, if they and they actually know how many sausages you should usually have, and if you buy like 10 sausages, hypothetically 10 sausages in the McDonald's, or you eat 5 sausages at home made by your mother, it is quite a difference. Because why weren't there so many fat people, overweight people, like a century ago? Because they still ate
Well,
at home.
maybe because there weren't such things as computer television, but they were going outside and doing some workouts and working actually instead of sitting home.
Or it was only because of the appearance of junk food.
Yeah,
Well,
but
People
we
like
cannot
so
know that.
much
We cannot
because
know that.
it seems tasty, but it's really
But
unhealthy.
also a lot of food products in the store are bad for you.
Yeah, I actually wanted to elaborate a little bit more on that, since a lot of people actually tend to ignore the nutrition facts on the packaging of some products which are available in the stores. They say that, okay, McDonald's and something like that is unhealthy, but yet they do not really check what they eat in that manner.
Exactly. So we have to
Exactly.
ask the grown-ups to check the products they buy for their children, for their
But I
children.
thought that the grown-ups should actually check it, because people are lazy and they just don't care.
Okay, from what I heard, you're implying that by accepting this law, damage caused by junk food would go down, because parents wouldn't be willing to buy their kids that much junk food. Is that right? Well, for me, I think that the only way we can know this for sure is only to know opinion of a parent or a majority of parents, because we as non-parents can talk about this all we like, but we don't really know the real opinion. So if you don't know if the parents will actually buy less junk food for their kids, you don't know if this law is going to succeed in its task.
Nothing bad will happen if it doesn't work. Like nothing,
will.
nothing worse will happen if it doesn't work. We will just cancel it. But
Well,
if
people
we have a
will be
possibility,
dissatisfied.
Yeah.
That's a really bad thing. You might not
how
see
can you
that.
know? How many people are dissatisfied? How many percentage of people are dissatisfied with these energy drinks that they cannot buy in Latvia?
Like, that's the thing, we don't know. We have no statistics on that, we can just speculate.
So some parents may be dissatisfied by the fact that their children are not just drinking poison. Let's call it that way.
It's not poison.
It
Well,
is quite kind of
well,
it kind of is.
Tasty.
Well, in that case, coffee is poison too,
Yeah,
because it both
It
energy
contains
drinks
only,
and
no, it contains only caffeine, but energy drinks contain a lot of.
mainly coffee.
But
Mainly, but still
Yes,
has
it's
coffee.
coffee is very dangerous at the long run.
Yet my mother allowed me to drink coffee when I was 5 years old. So was she poisoning me?
I'm not talking about caffeine. I'm talking about taurine, about these colorful stuff that makes the energy drink taste good. These bad and even poisonous things and acids that the energy drink contains.
At the age of 18, you get the responsibility for all your actions, even the crimes. In other situations, when you're 16,
You're responsible for your crimes even when you're 14.
Yeah.
but your parents still are responsible for you at that time. When you're 18, parents are, well, you could say they are responsible for you, but still your
So
legal
when I'm-
age is allowing you to be responsible for yourself. Rather than at 14, 16, you can't be responsible for yourself.
so
You can't
then-
work, exactly. And that's where the alcohol and the junk food should be in place.
So then if I'm 14 and I get diabetes, my mom is responsible for that. If I'm 18 and I get diabetes, my mom should not care. She's not responsible for that, right?
Well, that's the both ways, because if the parents shouldn't be actually looking out for you, so you shouldn't have diabetes in the first place. But for example, as you said, when you're 14, the parent is responsible. It is true, but well, exactly, because she or he needed to follow for your balance in the health, I would say, or foods what you eat. And in this case, you wouldn't actually have the diabetes. When you're 18, it's your decision to do whatever you want. When you're legal age, by the law again, you have less restrictions in this case, and therefore it's all about the restrictions based on. And that's all for today, I guess. Thank you very much for your discussions. Hope